Hey guys, welcome to PNC Park. He's Alex Stumpf. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. We're from DK Pittsburgh Sports. And have they finished tabulating all of the runs? I actually legitimately don't remember the final score.
13-9.
Pirates 13, White Sox 9 with, you were about to say?
19 hits for the Pirates.
19 hits for the Pirates. This is the home opener. Andrew McCutchen with hits in his first two at-bats, including right after the amazing ovation that he got. Brian Reynolds, how does he get second billing on this? Brian Reynolds with a 3-run homer, a bases-clearing triple on which he scored, basically the equivalent of, I guess you'd call it a Little League Grand Slam.
That's what I called it, yeah.
Yeah. And who else? Connor Joe with 4 hits.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
The least talked about 4-hit game in recent history.
Ji-hwan Bae with 3 hits. Jason DeLay with 3 hits. That's the bottom of the order. If you want to talk about this, we're here, okay? Go to YouTube Live
or Facebook.
Go to Facebook and put down a comment, criticism, question, whatever it is that you got, and we're happy to talk about it. But you were with the Pirates for the entirety of this trip. I was just there for the opener in Cincinnati. Are you surprised by this?
You know what? They're playing confident. And I don't know if this team is actually good yet. I know they're better. I don't know if they're good or if they're just too dumb to know that they aren't supposed to be that good. I think that's kind of where we are. And you have a good series in Boston. You pitch well for 2 of those games, and you come here. It's like we got to put up 13 runs to win, and they do it.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned the confidence. I don't know if it's a too dumb thing. I think that the confidence that they're showing right now is rooted in people who have done this before and don't think it's a big deal. Look at this game. Carlos Santana gets you on the board. Okay? Carlos Santana didn't hit a home run for the first time in his life. Wasn't blown away by the big crowd. Wasn't blown away by any part of the scenario. He did call it a really special day. I think that had a lot more to do with Kutch and everything else. But he wasn't floored by it. Who else can you throw into that mix?
I mean, O'Neill got on base, 3 or 4 times, and nobody cares today.
He did?
Yes.
I didn't even notice this.
He scored a couple runs, and it's just he was a leadoff hitter. He didn't have to worry about producing
wow. I didn't even notice that. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was the Andrew McCutchen homecoming, and then story 1B is, oh, by the way, Brian Reynolds is on the freaking moon right now.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. And obviously someone like him isn't going to get floored by this. He was going to be somebody who was going to perform at a high level almost unconditionally, but his took off in Boston. That didn't start here.
It started in Cincy, if you want to get technical.
Yeah.
End of that series. But
yeah, I could see that. But and otherwise, though, again, look at the rest of these guys. Kutch, even in this moment, mom singing the anthem, the ovation and everything else. You know, Derek Shelton brought it up after the game. He said, how about the way he collected himself after that and got a hit right away?
Yeah.
You can call that adrenaline. You can look at it in the other direction. But, there's also he has to bring himself down a little bit.
I can't help but wonder if that swing was premeditated. Like it could have been 3 feet outside. It's like, no, I'm just swinging first pitch.
And go in his direction.
Yeah.
And go in his direction. Scott Steeman congratulates you on the being freshly shorn. What happened to all that hair?
It's going to children with hair loss. Great charity.
Oh, wait, are you being serious?
I'm being serious.
Oh, I didn't know you meant that. That's actually really cool.
I wanted to cut it a couple months ago, but it was my 5-year-old cousin's kid. She donated. And she's like, hey, look, Alex did it. It's like, well, I can't be dunked on by a 5-year-old girl.
That's amazing. Well, they filled their quota for the day. Sean Maley says this is not a bad White Sox team, not offensively. Out of nowhere, this team is scoring runs and playing good, clean baseball. I presume now you mean Pittsburgh. I don't think they'll have many issues scoring, just the pitching like always. Okay, maybe you are talking about Chicago. The White Sox do score. They hit.
They do. And I'm with Scott a little bit, or Sean, I'm sorry, here a little bit with the pitching, because if we're going to be seeing Rich Hill take the ball once every 5 days.
Oh, yeah, you can't be doing that.
No.
Yeah, he either gets it together or you just put him in some reduced role and have him be.
And they can do it. You've got Luis Ortiz. You've got Mike Burrows. You've got Quinn Priester. You've got legitimate guys.
Do you really?
Yes.
Do you really?
You
though?
do. You can pretend that
do
June
you?
Super 2 dates don't matter.
Okay.
You can pretend that they don't, and realize that if this team isn't good in the next couple years, no one's going to care how much Mike Burrows makes in 2029.
Dave White says if the season ended, don't do this, Dave. If the season ended today, the Pirates would be the first wild card team. That's ridiculous.
Season.
You know what? I'm not gonna speak for anybody else here, Dave. But my response to that, and in general, to the start that they've had, and I shared this with a couple of the players downstairs just now, in just talking. Look at what they're doing in terms of how they're playing ball. Okay, step back from the record. Certainly step back from the standings. Okay, and just ask yourself if you liked what you saw. Forget this for a moment. Did you like what you saw in Boston?
Yeah, you have to.
When Alex Cora says after the game in Fenway Park, they came in here and kicked our butts. That sounds a lot like what Dave Roberts said at Dodger Stadium last year, but it was also true. It's the caliber of baseball, okay? This team's not winning some World Series. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to whatever. I don't mean to be the buzzkill here, okay? But they can get better at baseball.
Yeah, and they have been so far. It's been mostly clean games, like a handful of errors, but they don't matter. A couple base running mistakes, but nothing compared to what they are creating on the bases. And that's what really matters throughout all of this. What you want to see from a team, a young team, they are taking the steps where they need to take those steps.
Mario, who in dealing with him on social media, generally hates everything. So only Mario could come at us with some negative stuff here after. But it's okay. It's open to everybody here.
This isn't negative.
No, but then the one he has after it is. I picked this one here. He says, move Ji-Hwan Bae to lead off and drop Reynolds to 3. I'm not ready to be messing with the lineup yet, but I am ready to have Bae and maybe Connor Joe take a more prominent spot in the lineup, certainly over this mix of Jack Sawinski / Rodolfo Castro, both of whom are really struggling.
Yeah, Castro just isn't playing that much right now. But
but Jack is, and Jack is just dying out there.
Bae, though, I kind of like him in the 8th spot because he'll get on base. Cruz and Reynolds are real close behind, and he kind of has a green light to try to steal a base with the catcher up.
Oh, he's got green lights.
That he might not have if O'Neal Cruz is on. Like, hey, if he homers, it doesn't matter what base you're on.
Yeah, no, he's. I would, first of all, I would find a way right now to protect Jack. Okay, I'm not gonna send him on the first car out of here because if he has one nice game somehow, some way, he has a chance to lock in, especially in this ballpark. The Pirates are going to be here for this series and the next one, and you have a chance to maybe get him going a little bit. But, oh, my goodness, those at-bats, especially when everybody else is raking. They're running to the bat racks, and there's Jack, Yeah,
it's one bad game, but it's also – we also know the home road splits with him. Get him a couple games here first.
Yeah, that's right. Lyko says, I just love the energy coming off the players. They seem to have kicked into another gear mentally. That's again a residual of what you saw over 6 weeks in Bradenton.
Yeah, I mean this. Like I said, I don't know if they're good. I'm convinced they think they are good.
But that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You saw Kutch's tweet after Boston, where he was like, they saw it was just the Pirates. It's just the Pirates, and then he has a GIF under it where some guy is just going, oh, Brian says, yeah, Brian, is small ball making a comeback. Hayes' bunt the other day made me smile. I'm not giving you Hayes' bunt. I'm giving you Bae doing this, like this, with a Tony Gwynn flick of his right wrist into left field over the shortstop's head.
That's half a base swings.
Huh?
That's half a base swings, though.
But that one was so pretty. It was so pretty. Had to mention that to him on his way out of the clubhouse. I absolutely loved it. I will take small ball where it's appropriate.
Yeah, and I'll take Brian Reynolds hitting on the moon.
Sure, you will. But you
need both. You need both, and they're getting both right now.
You need both, but what you need is players to stay within themselves. Okay, if you're Jason DeLay and you think just because you cleared the monster at Fenway, and all of a sudden, you're this or that. No, he does what he does. He puts it in play.
He's not going to do that, but yeah.
He's not going to do that. That is absolutely correct here. Dave says, do you think that Reynolds working with Andy Haynes over the winter has helped him to get off to a great start? That's something that you looked into in spring training.
Yeah, I think it definitely didn't hurt. How about that? Being able to work with a major league hitting coach the entire year, especially since it took him a long time to find that swing last year.
It did. Remember that?
April was kind of rough, and like going into May even.
Yeah, second week of May, he finally had a series where you could see him. He started keeping his chin up a little bit.
So I think being able to continue on to what he'd figured out the second half of the year, make sure that carries over into the regular season. We're just seeing it right now.
Oh, yeah. Sean says if it scores runs, who cares? Play your game. Yeah, but that's one of the things that's why the construction of this lineup, I think, is going to be and should be a morphing thing. I don't be looking for Derek Shelton to just put something together and lock it in.
No, it's Derek Shelton.
Then there's that.
It's year 4. We all know you can't predict this lineup.
Then there's that. Our man Jim here says, Bob Nutting, hey, Brian Reynolds. Of course, he has to come in and correct himself when it was much funnier as just Bob Nutting.
Does Hilly Jim have a Macho Man as the?
It would appear that way. That's a really tiny icon.
The Bob Nutting is very, very fitting for Macho Man.
He's got some Randy Savage going on there. Chris Stone says the Buccos showed some moxie today. These past few games have shown some really good things. It has the feeling of the beginning of something, whether it's now or in a year. This is this, he's asking, Chris, is the time to buy in. Let me jump on that one first here. I'm gonna take this in the right spirit, Chris. Every time the Pirates win, it doesn't have to be because of their moxie or their spunk or their some other words that get thrown around.
The grind, the grit.
They showed, that's not what this was. Okay, I'm going to say this again. Carlos Santana has hit a lot of home runs in the bigs. Andrew McCutchen has had a lot of hits in the bigs. Brian Reynolds is a really good player. Brian Hayes had a big hit in this game. It was a continuation. He is considered to be someone with significant potential. His hit, even to the part of the field where he hit it, looked like spring training. That's what he was doing.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to him about it. He's like, I'm not where I want to be, but I did this. And it's, that's just a good sign. And I think that's really what Chris is saying, though. What really needs to be taken out here is something that Shelton said also. 1 through 13 on this hitting side, it's a better group.
Right.
And they needed to get better. They couldn't fill this team with waiver wires and everybody. Like, even someone like Connor Joe is not a waiver wire. He is someone that they
no, he's a first-round pick.
Traded. Yeah.
He was a first-round pick.
Okay, plenty of waiver wire guys came here.
No, I understand that.
Picks. He was someone that they went out and bought.
Right.
We'll give up a prospect.
Yeah. Chris says he comes back at us for the thing. He says, I'm not comparing this to the freak show team. Yeah, see, what you described was way more freak show. It was way more Kevin Polkovich, okay? When Polkovich happens to get a barrel on a Kurt Schilling fastball and wins the game for you with it, okay, that's when you show your moxie and your whatever else here, okay? That's not what this was. This wasn't moxie. I mean, there was some moxie. Weren't they down 5-2?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just blown away by the vividness of Kevin Polkovich or whoever it was.
Oh, hey, people, come to my rescue here. If you remember Polkovich going deep off of Schilling out at Veterans Stadium, that was something. We'll never see the likes of that scene again here. Summon Substance says that Connor Joe is a professional hitter. Love his at-bats. And it's not just his at-bats, by the way, in terms of official at-bats, because he will find ways on base. He's an OBP guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely why they got him. They like the high OBP. If you don't slug in Colorado, you're probably not going to slug anywhere, but that didn't scare the Pirates away. He's getting good at-bats. We saw 3 doubles today. That's where your slug can come from.
But, okay, we all have to get off this launch angle crap. Okay, this idea that you have to put the ball out of the stadium, I'm telling you, I've been saying this for months now. These rules are going to change that. You are going to see chain reaction offense. I really believe that. We've already seen so many things just over the course of these first, how many games is this now? 8?
7.
7 games, 1 week, that look very different than last season. I don't just mean for the Pirates standpoint. I mean, from the way baseball looks. Guys are stealing third.
I remember a couple
Tim
years.
Anderson stole third to score Chicago's first run. Yeah.
I remember a couple years ago, the farm director, John Baker, saying we want to build a more athletic club. We want to play more small ball. And if they were able to do it, they were able to identify that trend right before it became. And rewards would be presumably pretty good.
Sean says, if you remember Polkovich, you may want to file for your Social Security. Oh, but you remember him. You spelled his name right. You're so busted on this. You don't just accidentally come across the correct spelling of Polkovich. So let's see your Social Security card there, Sean. Let's see what else we have here. Boy, Hillbilly Jim's been active in this session. The bottom half are going to grind pitchers if they keep it up with their tenacity inning after inning. Let's remember that Austin Hedges is on the concussion IL. Okay, and Austin Hedges, when he comes back into the lineup, first of all, will take your defense and shoot it through the roof. Okay, behind the plate, he's really, really good. Not that delay.
I was going to say delay is also pretty good with the glove.
Okay, but he's also going to hit like $160 for you. So, oh yeah, look at this. Sean says, "I'm 29 years old. I just heard the name and have followed." Oh yeah, you followed the Pirates in '97. How old would you have been? 2? What's the math on that?
I was 5 in '97. So
yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, so Sean just remembers how to spell Polkovich. Dave White says, "I'll bet Schilling remembers that homer." That's right. That's probably the reason Schilling didn't get into the Hall of Fame, by the way. As a voter, I just want to share that information with you.
Yeah,
that was influential. We're going to take a couple more today here. Dave White wants to know what the record is since they took the charity sign down. They didn't take it down. Okay, that was God's work. Let's start with that. Okay, when did it technically come down? Was it Saturday?
I think
I came running over here on Sunday. You were still in Cincinnati. I live downtown. I came running, okay, to see that it was true. So the Pirates record, they lost that day, that Sunday in Cincinnati.
Yes, so that'd be 4-1 then.
4-1 since the sign came down.
Don't know when it came down. I've kind of been in
Florida.
I
believe it was Saturday evening with the heavy winds, or Saturday late afternoon. I'm giving the sign a 4-1. Michael says, given the history of the Pirates over the past 5 years, I can't be anything but skeptical. I do not trust the owner, Mr. Nothing. Well, everybody's got some variation of that one. But the run production today was enjoyable to watch. Michael, I'm not asking you to believe in anything, but if you make an argument like that, then go ahead and just put the lineups or put the rosters next to each other. Okay, because I'm sorry, respectfully, that's silly. Okay, this is a different team. This is literally a different team. Okay, there are some players, there are some carryovers. Okay, Mitch Keller was part of all those teams. Do you like the Mitch that you're seeing now versus the Mitch that you saw then?
The Mitch Keller who got an ovation today?
I said to Mitch, did you notice? And he goes, that was really kind of cool. If you don't know what we're talking about here, if you were here, you would. But when it was Mitch's turn in the line, usually he would be one of those classic cases of, Mitch Keller, I know that name. And it was like, Mitch, oh yeah, we watched this guy pitch well in Cincinnati, and we watched him pitch well in Boston. What do you know?
Yeah. You know what?
That was cool.
I heard it from someone who works with player development for another team and said it's refreshing to see the Pirates have one of these guys that clicks in Pittsburgh, and he's not Tyler Glass now. Mm-hmm. He's not Garrett Cole. It's like they fixed him. Yep. He didn't have to go to another team to do it.
Yeah, what do you know? What a concept. Which was, by the way, the number one priority that Bob Nutting gave to this management group when they came in. Remember, that was the reason. Yeah. His stated reason for cleaning house the last time was he got tired of seeing players go, I'm sorry, Mr. Nothing or Bub. Chris Stone says, did Russell Martin visit the locker room like AJ Coulter see that AJ did?
I didn't see Martin.
I didn't see Russ. AJ was absolutely awesome down there. Sean thinks it would have been quite a sight to see me busting it across a 6th Street bridge at 9 a.m. You know what, Sean? It would have, because I would have fallen into the water because the bridge is still under repair. I would have had to go over the 7th Street bridge. Oh, come on. There's
You're
no
doing
way
that to old man Sean.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, see, Sean, if you weren't really 29 years old, you know that. Brian Santelli says, dude, I just like his start there. Dude, one of the actual 2 real franchises plays tomorrow in a do-or-die game. Get some sleep. And Brian's angry that I'm doing a Pirates video instead of a Penguins video. One of the actual 2 real franchises. You know what, Brian? I'm gonna go easy on you here. I'm gonna leave that up on the screen. This franchise has been in place in this city for 142 years. You can't fake that. The Pirates, the Pittsburgh Baseball Club, courses through the veins of our region. That can't be mimicked. That can't be put on. What's the word I'm looking for here? You can't be put on hold. Okay? People will get mad. They'll get angry with the owner, with Bub, with Mr. Nothing. And they will stay away and they'll vent. They never stop caring. They never stop caring. And I'm here to tell you, dude, that out of all the events that I've covered, and I've covered 2 Stanley Cups right there on the ice, 2016, 2017, covered the one in 2009. I've never experienced anything like the blackout in 2013. I've never experienced that level of emotion. I'm not talking about mine. I'm talking about what was in here. It can't be rivaled. I am convinced that the Pirates remain this city's sleeping dormant giant.
I'm going to take this one more way. One closing thought. And it's this team behind. They won 3 games in a row against the team owned by Fenway Sports Group.
Wow, you just went there.
Yeah.
The Pirates are definitely the enemy of Fenway Sports Group. That's for sure here. What is R whoosh? Is that when you swing and miss on a take?
Nah, yeah, kind of.
That's what I thought. Like that's a Reddit
Ethan
thing.
saying you missed the point.
Oh yeah, he totally missed it here. Scott says this is a baseball town. It's just fun to be excited about the Pirates again. And hey, you know what? Buzzkills, anybody who's out there like Ethan, buzzkills, understand that it's okay for people to be happy. All right. And other thing about Pittsburgh, it's the only city anywhere in North America where all the teams have the same first name, the same set of colors. And on whatever planet you live that you separate the Pirates, okay, my guess is that it's not around here because that behind us today was a city behind its baseball team. Let's see what we have here from Randy. Says, hey, Alex, we're having a blast watching our Bucks. Amazing.
Thanks, Randy. It's been pretty fun to cover so far.
It definitely has. Hey, I want to thank everybody for participating. This was actually really cool. I wasn't expecting to get this much. We got a lot of people on here. Everybody's fired up.
Yeah. That's what you should do whenever you win 4 in a row early in the year.
I hadn't even thought of it that way. They've won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see, man.
Closing here on a story real fast here.
Yeah.
Don Kelly, whenever he became a Pirates bench coach, told his team that whenever the team wins 5 in a row, he'll shave his head. So I came in with that joke like, yeah, you guys got the sweep. I'm doing that. Doing that too.
That's great.
And Will Crow said, I'm putting this out in the ether, just so Will Crow says they win 10 in a row. He's shaving his head and the beard.
All right. It's 4 in a row.
He started with 5. I'm like, you're almost at 5 already. He's like, all right, 10.
Yeah, and since our man Jim started it off, he's gonna get the final word today. He says, I will always love my Buccos. I feel bad when they're not doing well. I can't stand Bob Nutting, but I will always love the Pirates.
I think that's Bub again.
Did he say Bub?
He said Bub.
Oh my God, he did say Bub again. All right, that is definitely the way to end the show. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll do this again soon.